out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open and launches in.
Dallas at the Dallas Omni Hotel, where we're going to be here all week long for SEC Media Days. Presented by our friends at the Stadium Shop on Razorback, WT Equipment, and Lindbergh Real Estate Team. We've got a huge Hot Take Monday for you today. This is one of my favorite weeks of the year. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night. This is what I look forward to each and every summer amongst other things. And we've got plenty to talk about today. Lane Kiffin, you've got several coaches on the docket between Kiffin, Kelly, Beamer, and then Clark Lee as well. Again, 16 teams now in the league, Tommy. 4 coaches a day, 12, or I guess 16, or is it 4 times 6? 12 players a day, each and every day, all week long.
Yeah, going to be a busy week here deep in the heart of Texas. And our coverage of SEC Media Days is brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, by WT Equipment, your partner in progress, and by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group. We'll have full coverage online at hitthatline.com. If you don't have the Hit That Line Now app, this is a great week to download it and have it ready wherever you're at to keep up with what's going on for the first time ever at SEC Media Days in Texas. It's Hot Take Monday. It's brought to you by our friends at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, right here in the heart of camping season. A lot of people enjoying our great state parks and national parks and all the things that are fun to do in our state. They can put you there right on the front row at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Now, Christian, one of my hot takes this morning is I'm not going to jump back into the video game sphere. Are you going to buy NCAA football? I know you have a console. Are you going to purchase that?
No question.
No question?
No
okay,
question about it. I'm going to get the cheapest version possible.
I was going to say, you can buy the exclusive version today, or some people have already bought it and downloaded it. I know that players are going to be playing it this week, and then later on Thursday it's going to be out for purchase. Has Dylan already asked for this?
No, I don't. Well, he bought some games, and the only reason I know is it showed up on my my credit card statement.
That's fun.
But he did give me some of his money he had rat hold to. He wanted to buy something, so I'll give him credit that he actually asked and then paid for it. Secondly, we were talking last week while you were gone. You can, I think the bidding is closed, but you could bid on playing a game of NCAA 25 against maybe your favorite Razorback on this roster, part of their NIL deal. So I'll be interested to see if we see some social media posts for that. But man, this would be a great place here at Media Days to have and maybe they do. I haven't explored yet, but it'd be a great place to have a setup and let people play that.
Yeah, an interaction of some sort. I know the players would like
I don't know the first thing about it. But,
I would say, so if you're listening right now, and I know a lot of you are probably not the video game connoisseur, your grandson, though, your son, I guarantee you have someone in your life that is contemplating buying this game. So maybe bring that up in a topic of conversation. I think that you would find the other party very enthused the fact that you brought it to the table this week. Mention the players again coming in. We're going to get a chance to talk with Taylor Green, Landon Jackson, and Andrew Armstrong on Thursday. I'm excited to speak with all of them. Coach Pittman, I got confirmation that he's also going to join us on Thursday as well. So we've got some good stuff staying tuned for today, but we don't even have to wait till today. Greg Sankey first at the podium. Tommy, you were telling me before the show, this is the most heavily attended. This is the guy that everyone, again, gleans something from. I'm curious, one of the things I wonder about, while SEC is the center of attention this week in Dallas, Texas, how much potentially the breaking news, if it comes or not, that Clemson and Florida State will be joining the Big 12. There have been reports out there that saying it's going to happen or it's heading in that direction. I wonder if that news breaks this weekend, maybe overtakes the news cycle, what's going on here.
Well, he won't be the one to mention it if it does. Now, it may overtake the news cycle here correctly, but that's not anything unless it happens prior to his address in just a few hours from now, 3 hours from now. I don't expect him to even touch that directly. He may reference, the sea changes in college football, but hey, we're at the 50-yard line on one of the biggest changes in college athletics with Texas and OU coming in, and I would imagine a lot of his remarks will center around the welcoming of 2 new members and what it means for this league. I would imagine today we will hear a lot about at least a 10,000-foot view on revenue sharing and what is coming. Mm-hmm. how the transfer, last year, the transfer portal and NIL were a big part of his remarks in Nashville, and I would suspect that we'll see some more of that in his rundown today. When I arrived here, and it was a little bit later than you last night, I didn't roll into the hotel till around 9 p.m. last night, maybe a little later. I was getting my baggage and stuff, and they were helping me with that, getting in the door, and the first person I saw was Greg Sankey. He saw me. Had no idea who I was, but that's who I saw first person in the lobby. So I can guarantee you he is here and on site.
Oh,
I've seen him with my own eyes.
With your own two eyes, you got confirmation that
he was headed to the lobby restaurant.
Is in person. One of the things, so Chuck has made reference to Texas and Texas A&M and used the old TV show Dallas, which I know many of you are familiar with. Just the fact that Greg Sankey and his lieutenants, per se, have decided to immediately, as soon as you acquire the Texas Longhorns and Oklahoma Sooners, to put yourself in, I believe, the third biggest media market in the world and one of the fastest growing cities in the United States outside of Los Angeles and New York. Let me tell you, I'd much rather live in Dallas, Texas than any of the other two. But I think it's just a huge message, not just to the Big 12, but not that the SEC hasn't utilized Texas before from a recruiting standpoint, but you're getting centerpieces, you're getting more of the media market and media share in this state, and that's huge for, revenue and cable and networks. I'm seeing different things about, like, with mentioning the Clemson and the Florida State stuff, how adding those two, potentially the Big 12, will make them more of a target for media markets and teams coming up. But just what this Texas and Oklahoma, if there's an immediate impact. Texas A&M had success initially joining the league. Johnny Manziel wins the Heisman Trophy. Missouri goes to in their second 2 years in the league. So first year not so great. 2 years following that, they had success. I don't think, to be honest, one of my hot takes, I only think one of them can have success in year one. I've been pretty standoffish. It's going to be Texas, unfortunately. I just don't think Oklahoma's ready for what awaits them coming up this season. Maybe in a season or two, yes. I just don't think Venables and company are ready for year one.
Well, you're right about the history of the success and expansion. Arkansas and South Carolina struggled, and Missouri was really the one that had the most success getting to the championship game a couple of times. I don't think when you expand 3 times in 32 years or whatever it's been, you can really draw a lot of correlations between what's happened previously. Texas is, let me hold my nose while I say it, they're a top-shelf football program, and they're back trending in that direction after having been down a while, having been dormant. They are back out. So if you told me between Texas and OU, pick one to have a better year, yeah, Texas is the logical choice. But remember, no divisions. So, it's just getting to Atlanta is going to require you to finish in the top 2 of this conference, which is not – finishing in the top half is not going to be an easy chore, much less finishing in the top 2. All right, live from Radio Row at the Omni in Dallas, presented by the Stadium Shop, WT Equipment, and by the Limbird Real Estate Team. Brought to you by our friends at Pratt.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction.
Comes around the college football world. Hey, be sure and get the Thill Bobber. If you're not using those floats this summer, then you need to because it works perfect for the kids and detects the slightest bite and the slightest movement on your line. They're premium balsa wood floats that are made by the thousands at the Prodco plant in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Find the Thill Bobbers and Thill floats at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, Lurenet.com, and tackle stores all over the place.
All right, more from Radio Row, live from Dallas, coming up next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Give me the hogs, Chuck. Give me the hogs. Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with the exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Calling all biscuit lovers. Hardee's limited edition blueberry biscuits are the stuff of biscuit dreams. Our famous buttermilk biscuits with summer's favorite berries baked in, served warm, and drizzled with icing. Don't miss your chance to try this special summertime treat while blueberry biscuits are still in season and ripe for the picking. Only at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything. Service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You know I got a heater while I'm waiting on y'all to get me on the radio.
Here they are in the wild hog formation. Kicks and kick. And one up and downfield. Oh, it's got 6 on it. Touchdown. Lucas Miller.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Congratulations to Mr. Hagen Smith. We're live at Radio Row at SEC Media Days, and football is going to take hold of the center of our conversation this week. But you will have some guys drafted, not just players that could or could not make their way to Fayetteville to play with the University of Arkansas that might forego that to just play in the major or play in the minors at first. But guys like Hagen Smith, Peyton Stovall, and others. Hagen drafted 5th overall last night to the Chicago White Sox, and we'll talk about him heading to the South Side coming up in just a sec.
Hey, brought to you by West Stark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. Water, sewer, gas, and grease lines have been their specialty since 1993. If you got a clogged drain, a water heater on the fritz, or you got a backed up sewer or drain line, they can help you with that. One phone call is all you need, 479-646-5151. In fact, put that number in your phone. We tell you about this on Mondays because usually, and Ty's going to find this out as a homeowner, things always happen after 5 and on the weekends. They never happen at a convenient time. So sometimes things can wait, and that's when you want to start your week off getting that repair done. 479-646-5151 for the experts at West Stark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services.
So I know it must have been cool for Hagen, for his family, his friends, Dave Van Horn, his former teammates, when they heard Rob Manfred say this last night.
With the 5th pick of the 2024 MLB Draft, the Chicago White Sox select Hagen Smith, a left-handed pitcher from the University of Arkansas.
Of course, Andrew Benintendi is also a Chicago White Sox. There's been other guys from this school and this university that have played for the White Sox organization. I think it's unfair. I think this Paul Skeens thing has put a false narrative in baseball, not I would say traditional baseball fans' mind, but this idea that guys can just immediately adapt to the majors and pros. Yeah, I heard y'all talking about Skeens a little bit on Friday, and I was disappointed like you that they didn't let him try and go out the no-hitter. Even his girlfriend, Livy Dunn, was like, he's a competitor. I know he didn't want to be out in that situation, but I would like to see Hagen adapt and make it to the majors in year one, but I think that's an unfair expectation placed upon his shoulders by some.
You're right, because it's the exception, not the rule, to elevate your career that fast, but it is possible. So, I mean,
correct. That's a good way to frame it.
So, I mean, it is a possibility to do that. The White Sox have, and I was watching some of the coverage of this and some of the reaction. The White Sox, I forget the name, but they've had a player that elevated that quickly. And then also I was watching some stuff on the Rangers last night on the local TV, and they had drafted a catcher, and their final pick is the 30th pick last night since they were world champions. But their draft pick last year had worked his way into the roster. So it happens in the first rounds, obviously, where you're expecting that to happen. So, but it's a journey, just like last night. I got a message from a family member of Connor Nolan. He's been called up as of yesterday to the AAA ball club in Des Moines, the word I've got. So
let's go.
But he's on that journey. Now he's, I guess seemingly on the doorstep with AAA from the way I understand the news, and he's going to be in Des Moines now. So, that's the more traditional path and how you get to the big leagues.
Yeah, Connor was he was just nails in 2022.
Yeah.
Really came into his own, and he's a nice guy. I got a chance to. I remember it was funny. We were at and I'm forgetting the cafe that we did the show from one morning, but Connor, Frank, and I'm forgetting the name of his grandpa. All came and sat right next to me at the cafe and were listening to the show. So I thought that was a cool experience. And I know Connor, again, big part of that College World Series team that made it to Omaha.
The word is he'll be in Des Moines. So, I mean, you think about the Razorbacks that will have ties to either Chicago team. I mean, there's going to be 3, I guess, now. I mean, they're not all going to be there, but tied to those franchises.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. Love to see him and playing in Wrigley for the Chicago Cubs, and the way that he is continued on his career. It looks like that is a destination for him at some point. Again, congrats to Hagen. We'll see where Peyton Stovall, some of the other guys go in the next few days. I would guess that of the actual Arkansas players, Peyton is going to be the next one drafted. Also, I listened to a little bit of this last week. Some of the stuff, again, with me not being on the show Thursday and Friday, I listened to some of the shows, but I didn't necessarily have all this, and I wanted to talk about it. I mean, you got Will McIntyre coming back. I know that's big news for Arkansas baseball, which I was happy about. It's going to be, I guess, I was reading, I think, a Matt Jones piece. He's going to be 24 when the season starts, which is pretty remarkable. He's one of those guys that you love to have on your roster as a vet. I'm curious to see what Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn envision his role being next year if he's out of the bullpen, if he's a closer. I would foresee Gabe Gackle moving to that Friday night role based on what I've learned from Phil. But you have added, you think about the pitchers you added in the offseason with Oregon State, She's from, I guess, Ohio State, and then Jimenez is from Oregon State, and then you got the Zach Root kid from Eastern Carolina. You added a lot of pitchers, so I'm curious to see how the shakeup happens with losing guys like Brady Tigert, Hagen Smith, and others off this rotation.
Well, paying attention during fall ball, which is closer than you think, coming up some point in September. Dave and his team will start quietly practicing, and a few will pay attention. And you'll
quietly,
yeah, well, they will. I mean, it'll be in the middle of football season, and it won't get a lot of attention, but you'll learn a lot if you are able to go and watch and consistently be there and see who's doing what. We won't have a chance to do that, but reading the reports from those that are at fall ball will probably give you a lot of insight as to how things will pick back up in late January when they pick it back up again. So fall ball is always important, to set in. I hate to call it a depth chart, but that's more or less the term we like to use in sports.
Yeah. You also, 2 last things on baseball. Saw you got a commitment from a Vanderbilt second baseman, Camden Koziel, and then Caden Wallace has apparently been traded to the Washington Nationals from the Royals organization. So
we're going to be over at Globe Life Wednesday night. They're having an event here with SEC Media Days at the home of the Rangers. So looking forward to seeing that new ballpark. So that's kind of a tie right here last night as the Rangers made their first-round pick last evening.
Plenty of events. So we're going to be at the Dallas Theater, Globe Life, and then also the Cotton Bowl as well. So it's kind of cool to get a chance to not only be here on Radio Row live at the Dallas Omni for SEC Media Days, but also take in Dallas. I've been to Dallas 100+ times, but I do enjoy coming back here. Memphis and Dallas are probably the 2 cities that I've frequented the most outside of this state. And it always seems to be something popping. I mean, we got the skyline right in front of us right here. It is a really cool spot that they've set us up here this
for
week.
those watching, turn the camera around. I don't know how well we can show it, but we can maybe give an idea of what we're looking at. The way our table's set up, we can't put that as our background, unfortunately. But, yeah, we are deep in the heart of downtown Dallas as I got out and walked around a little bit last night because there was nothing open in the hotel, and I needed something to drink. There was no vending machine, so I walked to a nearby 7-Eleven. That was an adventure.
I don't know if I'd necessarily do that in Dallas
about
at
10 o'clock last night.
That's
so
probably
maybe
not do that the rest of the week.
I kind of figured out I might Uber. I did not, but I thought about Ubering the last 2 blocks over at one point. Hey, you know what this week is? The football trip of a lifetime. Your first chances to qualify begin this week. Big C's going to be out at Hardee's. What's that, Thursday from 11 to 1? Big C, you think you can eat one of those monster burgers in 150 seconds? You going to give it a go?
Yeah, it took me about a year to kind of build my confidence up to do it. So.
It's built, though. It's built. It's as sturdy as it's ever been now.
Pardon me for not knowing. I would assume we're going to be at the Phoenix Avenue location in Fort Smith to start.
Yeah, Phoenix.
So we'll be at Phoenix 11 to 1. Your first chance to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime is this Thursday. We'll give this thing away in August, right before football season begins. A great trip to come back here where we're at to Dallas, see the Cowboys and the Eagles. If you can eat a monster burger in 150 seconds or less, you're going to be automatically qualified for the finals. The 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
All right, when we return, Chuck Barrett's going to join us. We're live at Radio Row at SEC Media Days in the heart of Dallas here at the Dallas Omni Hotel.
ESPN Arkansas is kicking off college football live from Radio Row in Dallas, Texas at SEC Media Days. Our shows provide insight on player and coach interviews, including special moments throughout the entire week. Make sure to tune in to the Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach to get this unique coverage presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, WT Equipment, and Limbird Real Estate Group.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, this is former Razorback Jalen Williams, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I think expectations is a pretty powerful word, and I don't know what my expectations are this year. I'm not really sure because I got to see that quarterback play. I got to see him play in a real game against the teams we're playing. I mean, I know we've had video and all that stuff on him, but I got to see him play and how he handles that situation. I want to see how he handles Bobby Petrino. And to say that, sounds kind of silly because he's been with him for a while now, but how it works in a game, how all that's transferred into a game. I just think that position is the key to the whole thing in terms of what he tries to do on offense. My recollection of Coach Petrino and my observation of Coach Petrino is that to make it all work, you got to have a stud quarterback, man.
Hey, we welcome you back live from Radio Row at SEC Media Day. That's a great point from Chuck here, who's going to join us momentarily, because as soon as I've stepped foot in the Dallas Omni Hotel, the #1 question I've been asked about is Bobby Petrino. And that will be, I would guess, when it comes to the Arkansas discussion from the media members here this week. And maybe it generates when Sam Pittman, Taylor Green, Andrew Armstrong, and Landon Jackson talk on Thursday. It's going to be sitting around your offensive coordinator. We'll talk more about that coming up with Chuck in just a bit.
All right, where it's Hot Take Monday, and it will be hot in Dallas. I'm sure at some point this week we'll be looking out the windows here of the Dallas skyline at the heat as we're inside here at the Omni. Hot Take Monday, always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Our buddies Lee J and Chris and their team give you a great experience and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. So stop in to see why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
Well, Chuck, you would be disappointed, man, because the coffee has not been brewed just yet. I walked over.
Oh, my gosh. How are you guys making it?
I don't know. I had some this morning in my room, but I walked over to get some, and it's not out just yet. I was thinking about you this morning. I was like, Chuck would be disappointed in the staff.
Hey, they would have it at Hoover. They would have it in Atlanta. They would have it in Nashville.
You're like a third-class citizen if you're working before 7 a.m. around here. You can't. The case with the Dr. Peppers and the Diet Dr. Peppers is closed up. I mean, there's everything's under lock and key right now. Now, I think Greg McElroy, they probably brought him a latte over here a minute ago, but they're doing one of these TV shows behind us. But, yeah, I guess we're third-class citizens down here.
Well,
Chuck.
they've got someone assigned. At the SEC Network, they've got someone assigned to get the coffee this morning.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Well, I would imagine a lot of Greg Sankey's comments later this morning will focus around Texas and OU and the expansion of this league.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I don't have any doubt about that. And I would imagine that that'll be front and center. It's it's kind of a grand entry for both Texas and Oklahoma. Maybe Texas more so because it's there, but that's also the side of the Red River rivalry. So both schools have a lot of history in that city, and I'm sure that that'll be dealt with a lot today.
And since we are in Dallas, we might as well play this thing in the background. You've made reference to it before, Chuck, when it comes to Texas A&M and Texas. But we might as well, since we are in the heart of Dallas, Texas, we might as well have this.
J.R. Ewing country.
Years ago, and I mean many, many moons ago, I was invited to be a guest at a party at South Fork. And it's kind of like going to Graceland. I was struck by how small it was. It's a very small house. They make it seem larger than life.
Yeah. No, that
the grounds are big. The grounds are big. House is not that big.
That show was larger than life in the 80s. I mean,
it was.
It was appointment TV.
Yeah.
So what was it? Was it Knott's Landing that came on behind it?
Yeah.
You're asking me?
No, I'm asking Chuck. I'm not
just
asking
so we
you.
understand one another. I've never seen an episode of either show, but never seen an episode of either one. Never watched either one. But Dynasty was the original, and Knott's Landing was the spinoff, if I remember right.
So, as it is a hot take Monday, here's one of my hot takes this morning, and I guess I need to watch because you are making references that I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's from my childhood, so don't feel bad.
So
my young adulthood.
I've listened to the theme song, and my dad has talked to me about that show. I was a Walker, Texas Ranger, so if there was a Texas-based show, that was what I was watching back in the day.
It pales in
They were a little different. They were a little bit different.
Just a little bit. I'm driving in yesterday, get back in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, airport from Tampa, and I passed the Big 12 conference offices. And I was like, that's kind of small. And
Were they boarded up?
No, I made a comment. I was like, no, that seems small because I've seen the SECs and I saw that. Here is my hot take. There's a report or two out there that it's expected that Florida State and Clemson are going to try and join the Big 12. I think the Big 12 is going to try and break that news this week. I think they're going to source it out. I think they're going to send it to a credible reporter that they trust that can leak it the right way. And the reason I say that is because when they announced last year that SEC Media Days was in Dallas, Texas, and doing all this, that was basically a shot to the Big 12. We're bigger than you. You've referenced Big Brother Chuck with Texas and Texas A&M. Well, there's no question the SEC is not just the big brother, but the dad almost of the Big 12. I think the Big 12 is going to try and steal some of the spotlight away from this conference this week. and by releasing that information, because that will, I think, overtake anything that comes out of this hotel in the next few days. It's a bigger college football story than anything that can be said this week.
Oh, I don't know if it's bigger than Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC. Now, I agree with you that it would certainly grab a lot of the spotlight. I don't know if that'll happen this week or not. It sounds like that could be a landing spot for them at some point. It sounds like they've already leaked the possibility that it might happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, that would be interesting if it happened. That's for sure.
Well, and first of all, it's got to come true. But when you think about a lot of these stories, particularly with big name schools, top shelf schools, they generally work out to. When we first heard Texas and OU, there was a lot of skeptics of the news. But generally, where there's smoke, there's fire on these kind of things, Chuck.
Well, I don't think either Florida State or Clemson will end up in the Big Ten. I think that has to do with academic accreditation. And I don't think they're going to be. I don't think either one of them end up there, despite what some might see as an encroachment on the traditional southeastern footprint. From what I read, from what I understand, they don't have the academic accreditation that the Big Ten wants, and that the Big Ten is going to require. The SEC doesn't need either one of them. They just don't.
Nope.
And so. And as I've said before, I think the Big 12 is by far best positioned of the remaining conferences to survive. And Clemson and Florida State would be good for them. But now whether or not it's immediate, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Wonder how old Gus Malzahn would feel about it down there in Orlando at UCF, a member of the Big 12, if Florida State and Clemson came in. That would certainly add a challenge in his recruiting grounds and in his footprint of the Big 12.
Well, they already play for the state championship, though. I think this is one of the things we don't realize in Arkansas. We don't have a state championship, so to speak. The Razorbacks sort of win it by default. But in other states, and Florida's one of them, Texas is one of them, there are other states that are like this, where the most important thing is winning the state championship. So what I'm saying is UCF and Florida State and Florida and Miami, they already recruit against one another. And, UCF's they've got an enrollment of almost 70,000 there. So they are going to be a power. And whichever conference they ultimately end up in. But I think UCF's already, I think they're already competing for some of the best players in that state. And they may get some of them along the way.
You've got, again, not just one, but two Arkansas connections with Malzahn headed up the program. And then KJ, of course, their quarterback this year, which he was already announced as the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year. We'll see, or preseason pick for that. We'll see if he ends up living up that expectations. To come back to hear what's going on in Dallas, Texas, particularly with Arkansas. Tommy, you've been doing more of these. I don't remember many times that Arkansas has been last on Thursday.
It's a rotation, but yeah.
I feel like that's not – again, you're not going to get a lot of the media attention and national attention. Single A's already texting in this morning. He's mad that Oklahoma and Texas are stealing all the spotlight this week. I do wonder when it comes on.
Part of the deal.
Yeah, I do wonder what is the center of the I just think it's based on just the immediate conversations I've had since getting in here about 4 or 5 yesterday. It seems like that the Bobby Petrino is going to be the biggest story, at least from Arkansas's vantage point.
Let me throw a couple of things out here. As much as I hate to say this, Arkansas is going to be picked 13th or 14th by the end of the week in the media poll. It's not going to get the lion's share of attention. It's not going to get the favored day. That's going to go to the schools that are going to be picked higher. And the remedy for that is to win ball games. Bobby Petrino is a story, but that's all that it is. It's a story. The meat of the matter is going to play out on the field. This is media days. Media days is about stories. Bobby Petrino's a story. I remember going to media days with Bobby Petrino. His first one, it was in Atlanta. It's the first time he'd been back to Atlanta since he left the Falcons in the middle of the night. You think they weren't laying in wait for that guy? It was a bloodbath. I'll never forget it. But media days are about stories. And Petrino's always going to be a good story. And so I suspect that is what a lot of the conversation is going to center around, because you can only speculate about the head coach's job so much. That's what the offseason's for, speculating about who's going to get fired. And it's kind of that way in the SEC. So I do expect Petrino to get a lion's share of the attention.
Yeah, and that will be some of the the questioning come Thursday, but I don't think that's what anyone's talking about until Thursday. I mean, it may be what people are asking you down in the hotel lobby bar, but I don't. That's maybe some of the questions that are coming for Sam Pittman just based on your conversations. But I don't think Bobby Petrino's on anyone's mind this morning as we get ready to crank this thing up in a couple hours.
Yep, Greg Sank will be first up at the podium at 9 o'clock this morning. Then we're going to get a chance to hear from Brian Kelly, Shane Beamer, Lane Kiffin, and then Clark Lee, all of which you can watch and listen to on hitthatline.com, and we'll be playing cuts throughout the week of these different
I'm
going
to be a little bit busy late afternoon. Can you cover all the Clark Lee stuff for me? Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't think that anyone gives a rat's about Vanderbilt football. They hadn't cared since James Franklin. I won, I guess, back-to-back 9-win
Chuck, can you
games.
watch that and take notes for me?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. That would be hey, that's an intern's assignment right there.
That's
for sure.
I think so.
We didn't bring one with us, unfortunately.
you don't necessarily have a Steve Spurrier-esque like guy here anymore, but Lane Kiffin is a lightning rod of sorts. He's been vocal and outspoken on a variety of things, and Ole Miss is going to be one of the teams that is going to be picked to maybe represent the SEC, one of two teams in the championship. Yeah. I'm pretty high on Ole Miss. I don't know if Dark's the guy that can win the thing, but I'm curious to see how he handles expectations. And
Lane's got to, I imagine a lot of what his comments today will center around the passing of his father, and there's going to be questions about that. And Chuck, I would imagine, I don't know if I'd go as far as saying dominate his time, but there's going to be a lot of conversation about Monty Kiffin, maybe not as much about Ole Miss as some would like.
I'm sure there will be a lot of conversation about Monty Kiffin. I'm sure there will be.
And should be.
Rightly so. I suspect, though, with the football, once it moves to the football, I would expect him to be very subdued, very understated, because they're the hunted now, and it's different. You talk sometimes when you're the hunter, when you're trying to attract attention, when you're trying to let everybody know you're out there. Well, everybody knows they're out there now, and I would not expect him to pop off much because – look, there's a whole lot of difference between getting to the point where you might go to the championship game and actually getting there and then actually winning it. It's nice to have people in the summer say you're good enough to get into the playoff. You might just sneak into this thing. I mean, you might just win the SEC. It's nice to hear all that. Your fans feel affirmation and everyone's pumped up. But then you got to go do it. And, a lot of people have kept receipts on Lane Kiffin, and I'm sure he knows that too. So I would not expect him to be, with or without the passing of his father. I would not expect him to be the font of entertainment that he's been before, because that's just not the role that he's in now.
You think about Monty Kiffin's role in football, if we'll start like in Fayetteville. I was reading Matt Jones' piece on him in the Arkansas Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports, and what, of course, part of that defense that stymied Oklahoma in that '78 Orange Bowl, a Super Bowl champion. I mean, this is a guy that was around the block for, and Lane kept him around because he trusted his football. Obviously, it's his dad. It wasn't just because of football instincts and stuff like that, but he was still working at some capacity in Ole Miss. He's a football lifer, as people like to say, and I guess was coaching under Lou Holtz back in the late 70s.
He coordinated Arkansas's defense on arguably their greatest win ever when they beat Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. I mean, I didn't have to read about it. I can remember watching it. And Monty Kiffin, when they hired him away from Nebraska, that was a big deal. This was, you want to talk about a football lifer. He was a Nebraska lifer, born and bred. And so he came here, and man, you want to talk about a difference maker. But, the times were different then. It wasn't like when Lou Holtz hired Monty Kiffin, everyone said, oh, Lou Holtz has hired Monty Kiffin. First off, the coordinators weren't in the spotlight the way they are today. And secondly, he was no star, but it really began, his stardom, his trek, if you want to use that term, really began here. And, hey, he went on to, revolutionize some things on that side of the ball.
I didn't know there was a Lexington, Nebraska until I was reading the obituary and stuff like that. But 84 years old, again, had an impact not only here in Fayetteville, but he's credited with the Tampa 2 defense, right?
Well, yeah,
he's basically the
He
architect.
and Tony Dungy, every time, whatever game I'm watching, every time I see one of those linemen drop back into pass coverage, I think about, I think Tampa 2. I mean, that's his, that's one of his legacies in football. Hey, it's going to be hot this week, guys. I don't care where you are. It's going to be hot.
It will be here.
I know it will be there, and it will be all over the place. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric's your answer. I know this is one of those times when you think, man, I sure hope that thing's working. I sure would hate for that thing to go out. Talking about your air conditioner, of course, or maybe it's just not cooling as much as you'd like. That'll happen, too, this time of year. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric's your solution for that. Those who've been in Northwest Arkansas know this and have known it for about 50 years, more than 50 years. Others are finding it out. They're expanding. If you can hear me, chances are they've expanded into your area. Log on to gopascal.com. Check out their plant protection program. Preventative maintenance is the bottom line. Keeps it humming all year round, regardless of the season. Gives you the peace of mind that knowing that that even in the hottest months and even in the coldest months, your heating and cooling system is going to be working at a premium. You can log on. You can schedule your appointment today. GoPascal.com.
Chuck, what'd you think about Hagen Smith and his selection in the 5th spot by the White Sox last night? His start of professional baseball got off to a great start.
Hard to argue. I mean, it'd be nice if the White Sox were at the top of the standings right now, but as we've seen, some of these franchises, and the White Sox have done it before, they'll rebuild through a youth movement, and 2 years after being in the cellar, you find yourself up in the penthouse. So maybe that'll happen for them, and maybe you'll be one of the cornerstones of that. The mock drafts were a little bit off. The debate that last week was really, would Hagen go 5th or would Chase Burns out of Wake Forest go 5th? Well, he ended up going number 2. And Hagen ended up going number 5. He was the number 1 top left-handed pitcher in the draft, and good for him.
I've read where the 5th slot's worth $14.5 million. So that
a
for
pretty
those
good chunk.
Those that are wondering kind of what that will pay out, that's what the slot value is, I was told.
Jeez Louise. 4 of the top 10 players were drafted from the conference. They had 7 in the first round. So it wasn't just, of course, here we were excited about Hagen, but it was really a celebration of SEC baseball last night. When you think about Condon, Moore, who's the other one? Caglione. You just Florida, Tennessee, and then Georgia last night, all getting a piece of that top 10, guys.
You had 3 Wake Forest players in the top 10. So, it shows you that kind of like in basketball sometimes and in all the sports, the top 10 picks aren't always, what adds up to a championship.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck. Did Wake Forest, did they get bounced early, or did they make the postseason?
They got bounced early.
Yeah, that's what.
And look, here's the thing. I mean, if you've watched sports at any point in your life, you know this, that, you need great players. I'm not minimizing the role of great players. You need them. You need franchise players to win championships. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a great team. And it's not those guys' fault. Mm-hmm. It just means sometimes the mix of great individual talent and all the other ingredients needed to win a championship aren't there. But clearly they had 3 players on that team that, the big league clubs thought were going to make it to the show.
Yeah, I just think about how odd that is to have a team that stacked. And not, like you think about LSU 2 years ago, right? You had Skeens and Cruz and then Tanks. I mean, there's a reason you were like, all right, that's a national champion. And then sometimes, like you're saying, it just doesn't pan out. Different year to year and sport to sport, but I know Wake Forest fans are probably a little disappointed with how their season turned out.
Well, look at the guys beyond the 3 on each team that you mentioned. And maybe that's got something to do with it. It doesn't take away from the individual skill of any of those 6 players, 3 for one team, 3 for the other that you mentioned. Well, maybe it's the other 22 guys that are the difference between winning it all and not.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I know this. Hagen's going to be on the move, and he'll need a real estate expert. If you're moving to Northwest Arkansas, Chuck, your friends at Weichert Realty, the Griffin Company, can help anyone in that big stage of life.
You're right. First time out, or if it's been a lifetime endeavor, that's how it's been with me. I mean, they were with me the first time out, and it's become a lifetime partnership. It's nice when you can do that with a realtor. It's the most money you're ever going to spend in all probability. And you want someone on your side of the table that knows you, someone that's listened to you, someone that's paid attention to what you were saying, and someone that's been able to put it into practice and benefit you, whether you're buying a home or selling a home, because there's going to be a time in your life when you do both. And you want someone, regardless of your situation, that understands where you are and what you need and ultimately can get you from contract to close. That's what they do at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Maybe it's what they do best. That was my experience. I think it'll be your experience, too. They are in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. They help Ty out. They're in Branson. And you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Boys, we're 6 weeks from the season. We were talking about this last Friday, Ty, that in 7 weeks we'd be sitting there reacting to the first game. But, Media Days is here, and I would imagine for everyone that's here that the sense of urgency really kicks in, Chuck, for all the coaches and to some degree the players once they leave this event. This really kind of starts to make it real for everyone.
When the coaches and players get back from the 4th of July, a lot of times that's really when football season begins for them. And then they for the media, it's a 4 or 5 day event. For each coach and these players, it's a 1 day event. They fly in, do their deal, fly home. But yes, there's no question that the air of excitement for everybody and the sense of urgency for everybody gets a little bit greater. And I mean, we're 2 weeks away now from the calendar flipping to August, and we're starting a little early this year, so it's going to happen pretty fast.
Yep, Arkansas again starts their season on Thursday, August the 29th. So you get a full slate of college football. Yeah, really. Let's be honest about that. Chuck, you would love the scene right now. The sun is rising here at the Dallas Omni. Again, coffee's still not out. I keep looking back over there at 6:50.
Let's have a little discipline on that front desk. What's going on around there?
Let's just get this thing up and going. All right, all of our coverage at SEC Media Days, live from the Omni, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. You can shop online at shoponrazorback.com. By WT Equipment, your New Holland dealer for over 50 years. They're your partner in progress. Go to WTEquip.com. And by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, go to LindberghTeam.com. Deep in the heart of Texas, in the heart of Big D, in downtown, Chuck.
Guys, have fun. I know you will.
Well, we'll find something to do on the off hours
I'd
after
be a
the
brisket
12-hour
sandwich.
days. Yep, exactly right. All right, hour number 2 coming up. We're going to talk to Chris Gordy, a little LSU, Brian Kelly on the podium today. We'll see what he has to say about one of Arkansas's opponents next on the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is the Morning Rush.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction. Death's construction.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, amazing. Look to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas. Save loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one, incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open, has launches in. Who makes a man miss. Another reverse and throw him down for the loss. They got him this time. Call those hogs. Just like witches at black masses,
minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Wentz is coming. Oh, amazing. Gets to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas. Tatum loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Has launches in. Who makes a man miss. Another reverse it. Throw him down for the loss. They got him this time. Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Wentz is coming. Oh, amazing. Gets to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas. Tatum loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Has launches in. Who makes a man miss. Another reverse it. Throw him down for the loss. They got him this time. Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Wentz is coming. Oh, amazing. Gets to the end zone.
2 off of I-49 in Springdale. Find out why Wills has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wills RV.
So Brian Kelly, along with his starting quarterback, a couple other LSU guys, will be up later on today. We're going to talk about one of Arkansas's opponents with Chris Gordy, Sports Talk 790 program director and host, and also host of Locked On SEC. Chris, you lose a lot last year for your LSU. Malik Neighbors. You think about Brian Thomas Jr., Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner, guys on the D-line. Have they reloaded in the offseason, or is this going to be an interesting season ahead for LSU?
Yeah, it's funny. It feels like LSU is not, like, if you talk to people around the program, people who cover the team, like, they're not too concerned about the offense. And it's saying a lot, considering you're losing the Heisman Trophy winner in Jaden Daniels. But Garrett Nussmeyer's been around so long, and he's played some that, they feel pretty good about him. And obviously the offensive line shapes up to be one of the best in the country, not only the SEC with Will Campbell and Emory Jones on the outsides. And then they got some wide receivers that played a good bit. Kyron Lacey was kind of the number 3 last year. He steps into the 1 role now. Chris Hilton is a guy they've had around for a while. They brought in a couple transfers, Xavier Thomas from Mississippi State, C.J. Daniels from Liberty. So, that combined with the backfield, Josh Williams is back for like his 17th year. I think that guy came in under Nick Saban at LSU. But he's been hanging around a while. Caleb Jackson was their freshman running back from a year ago that they got excited about. So I feel like most LSU fans are excited about the offense despite all they lost. The big question is the defense going to be any better? And they were abysmally bad last year, historically bad.
So, Chris, Arkansas gets them at night. I know a lot of Arkansas fans were happy to see that. They were hoping to get Texas at night as well. One of the things I was kind of surprised that it didn't always seem like that the SEC or others treat the Arkansas-LSU rivalry of any significance. Are you surprised that they have kind of made that a priority of sorts with the additions of Texas and Oklahoma?
Well, it's one that, look, LSU has kind of owned the rivalry here in recent years, right? I think it's 7 of the last 8 or something that they've won. It's they've had Arkansas's number, and obviously it's coincided with some down years for the Arkansas program. But no, man, the LSU Arkansas has always been a fun game. It's always been even years when LSU is pretty good. It's a game that's a thorn in their side that has given them problems. So no, it definitely is one that needs to be back as I think a night game every year in both arenas.
Chris, how do Tiger fans and those you're around, how do they feel about Texas and OU coming into the league?
I think most fans are kind of wait and see. Let's see what they bring. I'll tell you this, doing Locked On SEC, the comments I've gotten in recent months from Texas and Oklahoma fans, I mean, they are coming in acting like their what doesn't stink. I mean, they are coming
that's
in,
nothing new. Particularly
Texas fans. And here's what's so funny is, and I'm going to preach this all week long, is I think they're a little bit overrated, Texas. I think everybody's buying in and ready to jump on the bandwagon because they went to the playoff last year. But go look at Sark's track record. His best season at Washington was 8-4. His best season at USC was 9-4. His best season at Texas prior to this year was 8-5. 12-2 was the outlier. So, I'm not ready to buy in that's who Sark is every year. I think he's more of an 8-9 win coach a year, and that's really good in college football. If he does that, great. But I think a lot of fans are looking at it going, guys, there's going to be an adjustment here. You don't just go from a Big 12 schedule to an SEC schedule and just march through it. And I get it, Texas got an easier draw when you look at the opponents, but in the same realm, dude, this isn't Baylor and Kansas you're playing anymore. Looking at a road trip to Fayetteville and just putting W next to it, think twice. This comes on the heels, I believe, after they play Georgia, after they play Oklahoma. The total of an SEC schedule hurts you.
Yeah, we've talked about how it's going to change the recruiting dynamics in this league. LSU's always had great recruiting grounds close to campus, but they have snuck over and got some players out of Texas in the past, and I'm sure Texas will like to do that. How do you view the dynamics with A&M, Texas, LSU, Arkansas, all kind of working, working in that Arklatex down there?
Yeah, I mean they've been, there's a couple guys on the Texas roster that had a final two of A&M in Texas or a final two of LSU in Texas. I mean, Ryan Wingo, their big 5-star wide receiver they brought in, was down to LSU in Texas and picked Texas. So, there's a lot of guys we're going to see, in the recruiting ranks that are it's down to Texas and another SEC school, and we'll see who they pick. But LSU's always dipped into the Houston area. They've always recruited well there. A&M, obviously, they do their thing. It's a lot of kids, choose between LSU and A&M. So I think, it'll be interesting, the dynamic. I don't think it changes a whole lot in terms of recruiting. Sark was already starting to recruit at a high level a year ago before they even got to the SEC. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, I keep looking at that Texas team and just everybody's just assuming they're going to be one of the best teams in the SEC and pencil them in Georgia. And I'm like, dude, you lost a ton. You lost Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat on the defense. You lose your D-line coach, Bo Davis. You lose your entire receiving core. We just assume because Quinn Ewers is back, they're just going to be the same. I have a hard time seeing that.
I hope you're right, but I am one of those people in that camp that thinks they're going to be good. And Arkansas fans are very familiar with the name Wingo. Ryan Wingo, like you said, going to Texas. His older brother Ronnie was a part of some Bobby Petrino teams back in the day. Would have loved to have him as an Arkansas Razorback. Just didn't go that way. So you referenced Atlanta in the SEC championship. I mean, for the last several years, you've had the West and the East, and it's pretty easy to figure out who's going to Atlanta. How do you think it's going to shake out this year with no divisions, 16 teams? And there's probably realistically only 5 that are going to that have a chance to actually wind up there. How does that shake out with tiebreakers and everything?
Well, that's going to be the thing. It's tiebreaker is going to be the head-to-head is going to matter big time. I think Georgia. I mean, most of us can agree Georgia's probably going to go either 12-0 or 11-1. I know their schedule's tough, but it's Georgia. Kirby's on a mission. I think he wants nothing more than to say they didn't get the three-peat, but if they go 3 out of 4, I mean, we're talking dynasty in Athens. So I think Georgia's going to be in there. The other one is who's going to be the number 2. I think we're going to have 3 or 4 SEC teams that are 10-2 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to be looking back and going, okay, well, this team beat this team, so they're in, but this team lost to this team. And I think a lot of that's going to come into play here because when you look at Missouri and Ole Miss's schedules, they're super easy. I think that even if both of them lose their 2 toughest games, you're 10-2. Ole Miss's 2 toughest games are against, home against Georgia and at LSU. They lose both of those, okay, you're 10-2. Yeah. If they win one of those, they're 11-1, So that one will be very interesting. The old joke used to be never ask an Ole Miss fan directions to Atlanta. They don't know because they've never been there. This might be the year that Lane Kiffin gets through and Ole Miss actually gets to Atlanta.
But is the SEC championship game? I can't think of a better word than overrated, but overstated now with the playoff. I mean, you're talking 3 or 4 teams at 10-2 or better. Mm-hmm. I mean, just getting in the 12-team playoff is probably going to be a much higher standard for programs than making Atlanta.
Well, it becomes the SEC basketball tournament. Who the hell cares about that anymore? Right. Like, most teams are like, we just want to get in the NCAA tournament. I don't give a damn about the SEC tournament. So
there's a bye with a championship and home, but. You got to get on that 12-team bracket. That's what ultimately matters.
Hear me out on this. A quick hypothetical. Georgia goes 11-1. Let's just say, let's just say Texas goes 10-2, and they go to play Georgia in a rematch in the SEC championship. Ole Miss and Missouri are both sitting there at 10-2. They're not playing for an SEC title, but they get an extra week to rest.
And not get injured.
Texas then loses to Georgia, and they drop to 10-3. When the selection committee gets together for their 12-team playoff, are they going to take one of the 10-2 SEC teams that didn't play and jump the 10-3 team that just took a loss to Georgia? Like, there's a realistic argument here to say, like, it's better not to go to the SEC championship. Why do I want to play an extra game when these guys are getting a week of rest?
So you mentioned again the teams that could possibly wind up there. One of my hot takes, and a lot of Arkansas fans listening right now are not going to agree with this. I would actually like to see Ole Miss or Missouri win a championship this year because I think that lends the idea that Arkansas could do it too. Those are not traditionally rich programs. You mentioned the fact that Ole Miss has never been to Atlanta, much less win an SEC championship prior to it being in Atlanta. Then you think about Missouri, who went to Atlanta twice in 3 years when they entered the league, but hasn't won yet. I think that having the idea of one of those two teams winning this year gives Arkansas fans hope that, hey, they can do it. Why can't we? You fall in line
we'll
with
never
that?
get a schedule as easy as Missouri's. That's why.
I get that, but also in the same realm, Ty, like, I think you just want to make the playoff. I mean, I don't think getting to Atlanta doesn't mean as much as it used to. In fact, I really wonder what's going to be the future of championship games. I mean, I get it's money, so they're never going to go away, but I think some conferences may start to look at it and go, what's the point? Why are we making this harder on ourselves? Big ACC saying we want to get 3-4 teams into the playoff. Like, we don't care if.
Do you think it's a lock? The SEC gets 3 this year.
I think it's a lot to get 3. I've had some people asking, you think we get 5? I'm like, no, because they did the stupid thing where they said the top 4 teams are all conference champions. Like, no, stop. It should have been this simple. The season ends, the conference, the committee gets together and they rank teams 1 through 25. Why? I don't know why they still do 1 through 25. It's stupid. All we care about is 1 through 12. But really, that last rankings 1 through 12 should just be the 12-team playoff. And if there's 6 SEC teams in there, so be it. But no, we got to play fair. Oh, the ACC champion. What about the Big 12 champ? They might be 8-4, but you automatically move to the front of the line, sir. Like,
because the model was created with the idea of 5 power conferences, and now there's 2.5.
Yeah, it's
not even 4.
I just hate that mindset of everybody gets a turn. Everybody here, you're a champion. Like, a 4-loss Big 12 champion jumps a 2-10-2 SEC team.
Yeah, think about, so Chris, for example, Clemson opens up against Georgia in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. In that week 1 matchup. Let's say Georgia just blows them out by 28, but Clemson goes on to win the ACC. Does anyone really think that that's like a top 4 team outside of let's say Georgia's won an Ole Miss or an LSU or a Texas or something, and then the second or third or maybe even 4th SEC team is probably still better than Clemson in that case. So
no, you're absolutely right. And I've seen a few scenarios where a 9-4 Arizona is in the top 4 seeds because they go 8-4 in the regular season, win the Big 12 championship, and they're in at 9-4.
All right, so tell me why LSU is going to be a factor in this year.
Well, again, the offense. I mean, I just feel like they're going to sustain. They're not going to be as electric as they were last year, but Nussmeier's a gunslinger. I call him Brett Favre. He giveth and he taketh away. I think a lot of games you'll look at a Garrett Nussmeier box score and see he threw for 280 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. I think he's going to turn the ball over a lot, but I think he's going to throw a ton of touchdowns. So, but again, it all comes down to that LSU defense. They've got to play better.
And while they lost a lot of starters on offense, they got mainly all returning players in their projected two deep at starter. So not a lot of transfers. The defensive side of the ball, maybe a couple in there, but a lot of returning players that were in the system last year that will probably be in starting roles.
Yeah, they have Major Burns back in one safety spot. They bring in Jordan Gilbert, the safety from Texas A&M. I think that fills a hole there. The big question is young DBs last year. Another year older, can they step up to the plate? Javian Toviano is one. Ashton Stamps is another. Like, that's the big question. And in this league, we know you got to cover. I mean, it's become what used to be 20 years ago, a defensive league, and you could win a slobber knocker 17-14. These days in the SEC, it's like you get the 40 points, you're going to win that game.
And you mentioned Nussmeier there. I wanted to double check, but I went back in that 2021 box score. That was who Arkansas beat back in Baton Rouge years ago. So couldn't remember. I thought that was him, but it's been a while since Arkansas played against him. And again, 3 years ago, basically. So.
Yeah, he's kind of I think that was that year where they were playing musical chairs. Max Johnson, TJ Finley, and so they just had a bunch of hodgepodge of guys. I will say this though: when LSU lost the SEC championship game 2 years ago. Jane Daniels came out of that game. Garrett Nussmeier played basically the whole second half. Mm-hmm. Georgia still had their starters in, and he was flinging it around the field on those Georgia DBs. Kamari Lassiter ended up being a second-round pick this year. Yeah. Like, I think that experience is invaluable. And, man, I mean, if you watch the spring game for LSU, I get it. It's a spring game, but, like, he looked pretty damn electric.
Last thing, did you get the Deluxe U version of NCAA football? Are you going to purchase it this week? Is it on the docket?
I got a hard copy coming in. I got the digital copy pre-ordered.
Okay.
But I left the PS5 back in Houston, so it's got to wait till Friday.
The work will actually get done.
Yeah, it's got to wait till Friday. Although I've seen some people have said they're going to have some out here on the Radio Row, so we may not get much done.
All right. Again, Chris Gordy, Sports Talk 790 in Houston, host of Locked On the SEC and the program director of 790 as well. Chris, we appreciate you talking LSU, and Greg Sankey. We'll hear from Commissioner in about hour 45.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks, Chris. All of our coverage here on at SEC Media Days on Radio Row, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, by WT Equipment, and by the Lindbergh Real Estate Team. Hey, if you're looking for a great golf tournament,
just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction. Death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Wentz is coming. Oh, upended. Gets to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas. Stay loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open and launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss. They got him this time. Call those
hogs. Just like witches.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence.
Answer the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, time for the Morning Rush Daily Question, live from Radio Row in Hoover, Alabama. Dallas, Texas. We've been in Hoover so many years when I say Radio Row. Georgia's going to be picked as the media favorite to win the SEC. No question about that, right? Ty,
no question.
Who's going to be the second team this year? You've been a Texas fan. Who are? I mean, Texas is obviously a candidate in this. Ole Miss is another one. Who's going to be maybe a surprise team when the order of finish comes out? I mean, I would be floored if Georgia wasn't one. We've almost forgotten Alabama as a member of this conference, and everyone is expecting this sharp drop off. I don't think that's going to be quite it. And honestly, if you told me that, hey, at the end of the year, Georgia's going to play Alabama for the SEC championship in Atlanta, I wouldn't be surprised.
And they have could potentially have the head-to-head advantage. That game is at Bryant-Denny Stadium at the tail end of September, which again could be a big factor. I mean, I think it's Texas, and I'm scratching my head in misery right now, just thinking. And I hope I'm wrong. I've never wanted to be wrong more in my entire life. Chris presented a couple good points. They lose a couple of their stout defensive linemen. They lose Xavier Worthy to the Kansas City Chiefs, but they have the best quarterback in the league. It's not Carson Beck. It's not Jackson Dart. It's not Nussmeier. I mean, Quinn Ewers is the best QB in the league. He is walking into this league as the best, and that oftentimes leads to a perennial season. And I think that Texas and Georgia are going to meet in Atlanta, Georgia for the championship. And remember, they also play. Georgia plays in Oxford, in Austin, and in Tuscaloosa. So they have about as tough a road as it. I like Chris. I think they go 11-1. I think they win 2 or 3 of those games, but I don't think they go undefeated, unscathed.
Dark horse pick. I'm going to go with Missouri.
Yeah,
Their schedule sets up well. They avoid all the big teams. Now, they're one of these teams that could get to Atlanta, get beat by a Georgia, and then be left out of the playoffs just simply because the strength of schedule may not be there. But if you told me Missouri's in the mix at the end of the year to play the presumed favorite in Georgia, that I could certainly make some cases as to why that might happen.
Yeah, you think about Missouri opening up with Murray State, who's terrible this last season. You do play Texas A&M on the road in College Station. That's not going to be easy. They do go on the road to Alabama at some point this season, but they get Oklahoma at home. They get Arkansas at home. Boston College is their Power 5 opponent. So, yes, Eli Drinkowitz and company were not done a disservice, but honestly done a service by the Southeastern Conference on what they have ahead of them. It's still the SEC. There's still a game or team that you might give you a battle that you don't necessarily expect. But, yeah, I think Missouri, Tommy, if I had to pick I think that Texas or Ole Miss or Alabama are probably the most likable. But I think Missouri is going to get some votes this week, and they should based on the schedule.
Yeah.
And they have Luther Burden, their outstanding wide receiver. Cook's coming back as one of the better quarterbacks in this league. And you can say what you want about Eli Drinkowitz. I don't necessarily love the guy, but he is a good football coach, and they've got something brewing in Columbia, Missouri right now.
So if you're like us and you think Georgia is the clear-cut favorite in this league, who do you like for number 2? Who do you like to be in that championship game against Georgia? That's our Morning Rush Daily question. It is brought to you by our friends at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. 25 locations if you're looking to spruce up your existing home, or maybe you want to start from the ground up and build the dream home you and your wife and your family have always thought about. For more than 100 years, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has helped you do exactly that. Find out all of the financing options that are available to you for you and your family at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Or drop by any of Farm Credit's 25 locations today and get started on building more family memories.
So that topic kind of blends into the conversation I mentioned with Chris earlier. I asked him about the idea of maybe a non-traditional SEC power, either winning the championship or going to the playoffs. Does it help Arkansas? Now, from a recruiting standpoint, it hurts when you have a team, a bordering state like Ole Miss or Missouri, that has success and kids are drawn to that success, right? But there is an idea out there of a glass ceiling, right? And one of my hot takes this morning is I think it would actually benefit Arkansas if one of the non-traditional SEC teams was to either win or go to the playoff, because you go back, and I know again, it seems like a lifetime ago, 13 years ago, but when Arkansas is number 3 in the country and they're up 14-0 on LSU, and you lost that game, of course. Tyrann Mathieu went nuts. But even after losing that game, Tommy, you would have been one of the representatives for the college football playoff that year, based on your only 2 losses were to the national champion competitors in Alabama and LSU.
Those weren't the rules of engagement. And, I mean, you're right, but, things also play out different when the rules are different because your strategy becomes different. But it's, a lot's going to have to change in today's world with NIL and the money that's required apparently to get the kind of players that you have to have. I think you can get, anyone that's watched and paid attention for the last 18 to 24 months can see that Arkansas does not have equal footing when it comes to players. Maybe revenue sharing, which is something we'll hear from Greg Sankey about later on, I presume. He'll address that topic. Will help, but we got to remember, every other team in this league is going to be operating on that same level playing field. So at some point, how does Arkansas ever get the edge in getting the players? You can talk about hiring coaches, and I think hiring a coach that, like we've seen in basketball, can bring the players, but that doesn't seem like a reasonable path. Sam Pittman doesn't seem to have the resources, I think, that to operate anywhere close to a lot of these teams we're talking about being favorites for Atlanta this year. And in today's arms race of college football, that's what matters most.
Yeah, and the reason I bring up those two is because it seems like based on the different things you read or the different recruits that are coming into Oxford and Missouri, there has been a financial investment made by those fan bases because they believe wholeheartedly. I don't think Sam Pittman has completely lost his fan base. Some will speculate on that, some will say that. I don't think that's the case, but it's definitely not 100% on board with Coach. So that's different than what's going on at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium and then also at Farrett Field, where there is a full support for both Drinkowitz and Kiffin, which has led to the money, which has led to high-profile transfers and high school players choosing to play football for Ole Miss and for Missouri as well.
Yeah. So, at what point does Arkansas get them? I'm not talking level playing field with Georgia or Alabama or Texas or even A&M. How do you get on what seems to be when you're behind Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri? Those are the three. You need to win 2 of those 3 games every year. And right now, I think Sam Pittman's somewhat handcuffed, or his hands are tied behind his back, and being able to compete with them at the level they're operating at. So, step one is, hey, let's get caught up with the 3 M's: Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Missouri.
Yeah. Daniel disagrees with me. He says, how does a team on our level recruiting with one of those teams winning a championship help us? The recruits that are on the fence will go there, not here. Daniel, I'm thinking big picture, more long-term. The idea, again, there are some casualties that you would inherit short-term, but I think there is an idea for some out there, including, I'd be curious to actually know the inner thinkings of some of the members within the athletics department if they actually think this football program can not just compete but win an SEC championship and go to the college football playoff. Because again, I'm curious about the perception on that. I just think that the idea that one of those teams could do it could lend an idea that Arkansas would be one of those teams. Because Arkansas traditionally has more success than Ole Miss and Missouri, and it is a new age, as you referred to, in college football that we're all dealing with. I just think that there are levels that could be attained when you see someone else do it.
Well, I don't think anything you're saying is wrong. I don't necessarily agree with you on it helps Arkansas if Missouri or Ole Miss gets to the SEC title game. I think that's a detriment to the Razorbacks. But whatever happens in the next 4 months, 5 months, between now and the end of the year, you've got to put yourself in position to make a run again at some of these in-state recruits in the 25 class. But by God, you cannot get harvested by some other school in this league for the 26 class as well. There are some really good players coming up, and I'm talking about the Archer kid down at Greenwood is chief amongst them. You've got to be in a position where you can land that type of talent. Mm-hmm. That's why this season is so important. But whether it's Sam Pittman or whether it's somebody else, this program has to be able to get what's available right here in our own backyard over the next 2 recruiting cycles. Mm-hmm. That is crucial to getting back at some level that puts you just in the top half of this league.
Yeah, and I don't think anything, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I don't think anything that Sam says on Thursday is going to change people's minds one way or another about how they feel this football program in this season. I've listened to the most positive fans about this year, and I've listened to the most negative fans who basically have written off that Sam's going to be let go and changed. I don't know, when I was thinking as I'm driving from the airport to the hotel yesterday, I was just kind of thinking in my mind, what do I want Sam Pittman to say that could get fans ignited? I just don't think there's anything he could say this Thursday.
You're too far from the season. I mean, that's not the purpose or the point of media days, is to say things to ignite your fan. I don't think that's the job of a coach necessarily out of the season. He's here to talk about his team and promote his program and to represent the university in the best way possible, just like the other 15 schools that are coming here. This, everything's a recruiting pitch. I get that, but that's not the purpose of what you're here for this week. Nothing that he could say or any other coach is going to say is going to get people, just giving money hand over fist to your edge or your collective or whatever it's called in your neck of the woods in this league.
Yep. Again, the coaches up today. We had a chance to catch up with Chris Gordy, talk LSU. Brian Kelly up today. Clark Lee, Vanderbilt, Lane Kiffin, and then also Shane Beamer. Not going to really talk much South Carolina because they are not on your schedule this year. We are going to talk some Ole Miss with Richard Cross, who's going to join us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Another coach that's also going to be here this week with not his team, but I guess his team of ESPN and stuff is going to be Nick Saban. And while Nick Saban, Tommy, is even in the off season and even post retirement as a story, I would guess that he's going to generate some conversation this week. Just him being here, his presence and his impact and what he can.
People want to hear what he has to say. He's still the face of college football, regardless of the fact that he's not coaching. When you think college football, I think Nick Saban. When you say give me one name in college football, Nick Saban's going to be the first out of a lot of people's mouths. So, like it or not, he is the de facto commissioner of the sport.
If you're Kalen DeBoer, again, he's getting paid $500,000 by Alabama to be a consultant of sorts. How do you balance taking advice and also coaching your own way? Because
taking advice from who?
From Saban.
You think Saban's giving him advice? Unsolicited?
He's already been. He's spoken about that already and talking to.
The key words are unsolicited.
Okay.
If I'm Kalen DeBoer or I'm any other coach in college football, can you give me a good reason why I wouldn't want to hear anything Nick Saban had to say about my coaching style, my program? Why would I not listen to the GOAT's insight? I would be very interested in a reason why his thoughts on anything I'm doing wouldn't be listened to. If I'm Kalen DeBoer, who's not that long ago coaching in Division II, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I not listen to anything Nick Saban had to tell me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So what do you?
I didn't say you had to go out and do it verbatim, but I would listen and I would write down every word that man had to say.
Yeah, and we had our Pratco Pyramid of Power coaches rankings last week. I think I had DeBoer at 3. Just based on his success. Now, I also think that Alabama is going to make a coaching change within 4 years or so. Is that, there were reports out there leading up to...
Which those two thoughts don't go together. But anyway, we'll argue that another day.
I don't know how that computes, but it does for me. Lane Kiffin, I'm curious with his coaching. I mentioned the idea of, and that a lot of people are texting and disagreeing with, that Ole Miss potentially winning the championship could benefit Arkansas because it shows you that Arkansas could do it.
That's crazy.
Is he an Ole Miss lifer?
State. That's crazy. Is Lane Kiffin?
If the Florida job, let's say, comes open at Billy Napier, if he has a bad year, and you think about the resources and access that recruits in that state would be open to if he was the head coach, or if the Alabama job, or do you anticipate him staying in Oxford for a while?
No disrespect to Oxford, but that's not a big enough place and a big enough job. So I've always thought he would end up at Alabama, but I think I think he's a great coach. So I think he'll end up in one of the premier spots in college football, which would be either Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I can't really see him going to Athens, Georgia anytime soon with Kirby's success.
Yeah, he's an alum too.
But State of Texas has a couple premier jobs as well. So Ole Miss, great place, but it's not a premier job in this league.
Yeah, and I anticipate that if DeBoer gets let go within 3 or 4 years, like I think he might, that he's going to take that job if offered. And I also think that you should watch out for that Florida job if it comes open, because that is a program that is stockpiled with recruits in the state, and it is much to the chagrin of Ole Miss fans, it is a better job than Ole Miss.
Yep. All right, we got plenty to get to here. We're live on Radio Row in Dallas, Texas. Want to tell you about our friends at Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is their number. At Gaston's, they've got 80 private cabins and lodges for you and your family to enjoy a family vacation or a getaway that will be memories you won't soon forget. I was talking to someone that was fishing this weekend on the White River at Gaston's, and their guide was outstanding at taking care of the kids, making sure that everything in the boat was handled, from baiting hooks to untangling lines.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh,
Armstrong comes the pressure. Wentz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Into the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas. Staying loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got 101. Incomplete.
Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord,
Launching for the end zone.
Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Wentz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Into the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas. Staying loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got 101. Incomplete.
Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
just like
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey,
ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repair.
White Sox yesterday. Big news for Hagen and his family and friends. Here's Rob Manfred on the 5th overall pick.
With the 5th pick of the 2024 MLB Draft, the Chicago White Sox select Hagen Smith, a left-handed pitcher from the University of Arkansas.
Now, Tommy, you were telling me in hour one, you've got Benintendi there with the White Sox organization, now Hagen a part of it. On the other side of the tracks, per se, is the Chicago Cubs, where Connor Nolan apparently has been elevated to the AAA affiliate.
Yeah, got a note from a family member that he's been called up to Des Moines. So, in Chicago, if everything stayed on track and everybody stays in place, at some point down the road, you could have
pitcher tool
three. I guess what be 3 Razorbacks.
Yeah, I don't know if there's another.
Anybody else in those organizations? Sometimes I lose track, but point being is, the 2 teams in Chicago are going to have some Razorback ties.
Yep, pretty cool for that. Other baseball news: Will McIntyre announced that he's coming back. Big news for Arkansas baseball. Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs. You got another commitment from a Vanderbilt second baseman, Camden Koziel, and then also you have Caden Wallace being traded from the Royals to the Nationals. So some of the baseball news for you this morning. I would expect Peyton Stovall, amongst other Razorbacks, to be drafted. I saw one kid. It's Tylen something. I'm forgetting his name. He's drafted 51st overall, but since he's Cincinnati Reds, if I remember that correctly, Tommy, he's one of the players that Arkansas has recruited for this upcoming season. Don't know what he's going to do. We know Peyton Stovall, elected out of high school, was originally drafted. Money wasn't right or whatever. He decided to come to Arkansas. You lost a lot to the draft last year. Curious to see what this kid's decision and then what the other decisions might be.
Let's let the draft complete itself, and then you'll know based on slaughter. I say we'll know. Dave Van Horn will probably have a good idea based on, every player, every kid's got, his family's got a number. And, is that slot value going to meet that number? So, you want to get your guys called that have been on your team. If you're Dave Van Horn, that first few rounds is it's a tough time because you're not wanting any name of anyone you've been working on for 2 or 3 years to be called.
Yep. Last thing here in your hog update.
You do, but you don't.
Yeah. Monty Kiffin, 84 years old, no longer with us, passes away. Of course, Lane's father, a part of the good Arkansas teams down the stretch in the 70s, defensive coordinator under Holtz. Won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and has been kind of working behind the scenes with Lane Kiffin in Oxford these past couple years. Again, close to home because he's a former Arkansas assistant. He's a football lifer, and just got, I would guess, the good chunk of Lane's conversation is going to be predicated around his father today, I would think. I would imagine Lane would be saying several things about that. Our man Tom Murphy walking by here on Radio Row, so we'll talk with him live tomorrow from right here. But, I would imagine Lane, tough time, but it's Chuck and I were talking about Friday, and Chuck made this point. That's a football family. And,
The expectation is he'll be here at media days, and they'll deal with things in their family, but that's what you do when you're a football family like the Kiffins.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, so while the golf trip did not necessarily get off to a good start, did you see what happened at the Love Field? Did you see what happened at the Love Field Airport?
I saw there was extensive delays.
Okay.
But,
apparently, I know y'all played this clip.
If I wanted to start up a company, I think planning like golf trips and vacations would be mine. I have planned our trip. I planned our Tampa golf trip this weekend. I planned our Charleston trip next month.
Yeah.
I love planning trip itineraries. So
Master planner.
Master planner.
Well,
misses his
the plan didn't go according to plan. Apparently, there was a belt conveyor that was jacked up, and so all these Southwest flights got there's people that they couldn't check in quick enough, and when we got there over an hour before our flight, didn't make
That's
it.
not enough time.
Yeah, didn't make it close. But in Love Field's known for quick expediting that.
Not at 6 a.m., dude. Not in the summer.
Never seen it before.
How many 6 a.m. flights have you taken out of Love Field?
I don't know.
One. One would be my guess, and it was late.
Either way.
So, I mean, it's a big city, man. You're going to have 6 a.m. Everybody wants the first plane out of town.
Didn't get off to a great start.
Yeah.
That being said, got a chance to we ended up going to see Morgan Wallen on Thursday night.
And what was this tweet you put out? He's still got it. He's 29 years, 30
He's
years,
like
whatever
30,
he is.
31, still got it.
He still got it. What do you mean he still got it?
He still got it.
He ain't hit his prime yet.
He still got it.
He still got it?
He ended up postponing a couple
tweet.
of his concerts.
God.
Yeah, there may have been
dumb take there.
There may have been a few beers
Dumb
consumed.
take.
There was Tommy, this place that we stayed at.
If you go see George Strait, he still got it.
He still got it. That's
Morgan Wallen, 31 years old. He's still getting it.
He still got it. We did see this. It was kind of cool. We're playing this course at Lake Chavita this weekend. We did see a nice Razorback flag. So if anyone knows a family member or friend that lives at Lake Chavita, we salute you as a Razorback fan. But we ended up winning some money this weekend, Tommy.
Well, by the way, did you hear? I had a hole in one.
I did.
Did you hear? Did you hear? I should have had that monogrammed on my shirt.
Did you guys talk about? Because was that Thursday?
Oh,
or Friday?
I barely mentioned it.
Was that Thursday or Friday?
I had the hole in one occurred on Wednesday, so we talked about it Thursday maybe once.
Just once,
maybe once.
I would like to have one of those at some point. It didn't happen this weekend, but a good time. But happy to be back in the. At the Radio Row here at SEC Media Days, where it's starting to fill up a little bit. Tommy, when we get here, there's usually some shows in Tennessee and Georgia that start on 6 a.m. Eastern, so they start at 5 a.m. Central. But it's really starting to fill up a little bit with radio people, and Greg Sankey will talking about an hour from now.
Yep, Dallas easy to get to for just about everybody. Direct flight in here, so. Had an easy little 4.5 hour drive down, so missed my exit. Didn't stop at Buc-ee's like I'd planned on. You got to get off like a mile before that to get to that store without having to turn around.
Well, there's two exits for it.
Yeah, but by the time you see it, if you're on the phone like I was and you don't pay attention.
I stopped at that exact Buc-ee's when I went to Dallas.
Yeah, I'll stop on the way back.
Big C, that is the stop for those that make their way to Dallas for vacation or football games or whatever the case may be. I don't think it was around when Union Arena was here.
Oh, no.
But it'll
be perfect. I got like between a quarter and a half a tank of gas, like a third a tank of gas, so that'll be a perfect fuel-up spot on the way out.
Now, did you get food there or just gas?
I didn't stop there. That's what I'm just saying.
That's what you're saying. Sorry. Well, are you going to get food on the way out?
I don't know. Their brisket sandwich is pretty good out here.
Pretty solid. But, yeah, that is a
great place to waste about $80.
It's not a waste.
Yeah.
Again, what do you get to do with this situation? You get to expense it, which is nice.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. All right, we're live from Radio Row, SEC Media Days in Dallas, Texas. We're brought to you by the Fence Man. When it comes time for new gates or fence repairs or anything around your home for curb appeal or security or both, they can do it. Wood privacy fences, vinyl fencing, chain link fencing, industrial and commercial jobs are never a problem for them. They're getting a lot of work done this summer. 479-782-3936. 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, when we start out.
Like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction. Sorcerer of death's construction.
It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone.
Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Gets to the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone.
Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Gets to the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone.
Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Gets to the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone.
Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Gets to the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it? Look to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas. Staying loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass waltzes in. Who makes a man miss. But on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss. They got him this time. Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it? Look to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas. Staying loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass waltzes in. Who makes a man miss. But on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss. They got him this time. Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it? Look to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught.
Kiffin. Ole Miss is an interesting football team this year. They have a lot going for them. Had a great offseason in the transfer portal. Lane Kiffin's got his team primed for something that they've never done before. We'll see if they're able to accomplish that. We're going to talk with Richard Cross about that coming up as we start hour number 3 live from Radio Row.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale, Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley. You'll find the best brands there. Always a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. And, of course, that's one of the reasons why they've been voted best RV dealer year after year. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. We are on Radio Row in Dallas at the Omni. It's presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, by WT Equipment, your partner in progress, and by the Limbird Real Estate Group. Find them online at limbirdteam.com.
So Richard now joins us, Sports Talk Mississippi. You can occasionally watch him and listen to him on the SEC Network and ESPN. Our important question to get going. Butter or cream cheese on your bagel this morning? Cream cheese? All right, let's do that again.
Put a quarter in the microphone.
Cream cheese? Cream cheese for sure? Okay.
And sometimes a little strawberry jelly on top of the cream cheese.
That's the way to go on that. That's not a bad combination. All right, so things are different in Oxford this year, and Hugh Freeze was able to generate a couple solid seasons for Ole Miss, and I just think about what Lane Kiffin, number 1 transfer portal class, he's got his quarterback in Jackson Dart back. I want to start with the QB. I think Ole Miss has almost everything they need to win an SEC championship. You've watched Jackson as much as anyone in that covers Ole Miss. Is he a good enough QB to lead this team, not just through Atlanta, but potentially a college football playoff appearance and a championship?
I mean, to win a national championship, I think that's a big ask, and you're talking about the elite of the elite in that scenario. But yeah, I think Jackson Dart is one of the elite quarterbacks in all of college football. You're talking about a third-year starter and a guy that started some games his true freshman year at Southern Cal. You think back to that first year, there were people that were like, oh, well, Jackson Dart, he's got to grow, he's got to get better, and of course he does. But you were also talking about a guy that was pretty inexperienced at that point. Like he had kind of a taste of college football at Southern Cal, but then you transfer into the SEC and you're asked to be the starter basically from day one. And he had a good first season. He was exceptional a year ago. Throws for over 3,000, touchdown to interception ratio was good, really made good decisions. Obviously can hurt you with his feet as well, just has done a lot of good things. He is the unquestioned leader. This is his football team. There's no question about that. Guys seem to rally around him and kind of gravitate to him as well. And I think those things are important. And also when you're talking about a guy who has started for 2 full years in the SEC, he's got 2.5 years of starting experience, there's not a whole lot you can throw at him that he hasn't seen. Seems to process things well. And to me, the biggest thing is he's got weapons, right? I mean, 3 guys that are absolutely proven. Assuming Juice Wells is healthy, the transfer from South Carolina, he's got a couple of significant weapons on the outside. Jordan Watkins returning. There's a ton of experience and a ton of confidence there. And then at the tight end spot with Caden Prieskorn, who, if you go back to the Peach Bowl last year against Penn State, he was just a monster in that game. So I think the combination of the experience, the weapons, the schedule that Ole Miss is going to play sets things up for this to be a pretty special year. And you mentioned the SEC championship, and while that's there, I feel like we're in a little bit of a shift. Sure, everybody still wants to get to Atlanta, wants to win an SEC championship, but this team's goal is college football playoff. Yep. And, if that means you get to Atlanta to get there, fine. But if you don't, that's one less game you play in that road to trying to hold up a trophy at the end of the year.
Richard, what do you think Lane's tone and his demeanor will be like today? I mean, this man that just lost his father 72 hours ago or whatever, to come and address the college football world in the wake of your father's passing is quite a chore.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. And they had a neat relationship, right? We talked about this on our show last week. You think about kind of the natural progression of life. You're with parents as a kid, and that's when you spend the most time with your parents, and then you grow up and you go do whatever it is that you're going to do in life, and you see them on holidays, right? It's Christmas and Thanksgiving and maybe at some point in the summer. Lane's almost the inverse. I mean, his dad was a football coach, and certainly he was around Monty growing up and, at all of his different stops and kind of grew up around the game.
Including Arkansas.
That's right. No question. But then you get to adulthood, and Lane has his dad as his defensive coordinator at Tennessee and at Southern Cal. And from the time he's been at FAU through Monty's passing last week, he's been in the building almost every day as an analyst. And so it's kind of an inverse relationship. Generally speaking, I think Lane has a pretty good ability to compartmentalize things. They'll have the memorial service, I think it's next Monday, down in the Tampa area for his dad. So I think he'll be ready to talk football today, and you'll probably get some of those moments from Lane Kiffin that you expect that everybody kind of laughs about and giggles about. But I think he's confident in his football team.
I would imagine he'll have a few good stories today about his dad. Let's talk about the defense at Ole Miss. Okay. A lot of newcomers out of the portal. Looking at some of the projected two deeps, looks like half or more of maybe the Ole Miss defense will be new names this year for the Rebels.
And probably shouldn't be surprising with the way that they have approached recruiting. Ole Miss has maybe put a little bit more emphasis in high school in this past recruiting cycle and the one that's upcoming as well. But they continue to believe that the transfer portal is the way that gives Ole Miss the opportunity to compete at an elite level, as opposed to just kind of building a roster that's full of high school guys that were stars. And I think there's something to that. I mean, obviously you have chemistry questions. I think that's less of an issue because of what we talked about with Jackson Dart a second ago. This is his football team. You've got guys that are returning that have had success that are going to say to any new guys coming in, no, this is the way we do things here. This works. There's a proof of concept there, and we're going to go with it that way. And so I think that the guys that coming in, and obviously important pieces on the defensive side, Walter Nolan on that defensive line, Princely Umanuelen coming in from Florida as an edge rusher, Trey Amos coming in from Alabama. You do have guys coming in from programs where probably they did things a little bit differently, and so there's kind of an adjustment period. But the other part of that is they were all here in the spring. They were all in Oxford in the spring, and so there's some time, some runway leading up to the start of this season.
Richard Cross is our guest, Sports Talk Mississippi, SEC Network, ESPN. Richard, for Lane Kiffin, I wonder, this past calendar year, the Alabama job comes open. It goes to Kalen DeBoer. I know there's questions, whether fair or unfair, that when big-time college football jobs come open, his name's going to be associated with those. Yeah. Do you believe in your mind that he is an Ole Miss lifer?
I don't know about Lifer. Lifer's a long time in college football now.
That's true.
But I do think that there are a majority of people that would have not expected him to be going into year 5 when he got the job at Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, this is a 2 or 3 year deal, and then he moves on to the next thing. There are a couple of things. One, he has proven to others and maybe even proven to himself that, hey, you can win in Oxford, and you can win in a big way in Oxford. Ole Miss had its first 11-win season ever a year ago with Lane Kiffin. He's got a roster that he believes in. To me, at this point, also, there are not many jobs that you would look at and go, okay, well, this is an upgrade financially. Ole Miss has committed in a big, big way to him. They're paying him over $9 million with bonuses. He can go over $10 million. There aren't that many college football jobs that can do that. And then you look at fit in other places. The fit seems to be really, really good in Oxford. I think Lane has grown as a person and kind of also in that time has grown to be happy in Oxford, kind of with we're not going to pretend like Boca and Oxford are the exact same place, right? They're different places. But there's a lot of good in that Oxford community. And so, if I'm looking at it, I'm probably going, okay, is there going to be another shot at the NFL for him somewhere along the way because of what he is as an offensive mind, more so than, okay, where's the college job that he's going to jump to?
Yeah, and I wonder from the investment you talk about, it's not just with him, but it's also the infrastructure that seems to be in place with NIL.
Yeah.
Keith Carter's an Arkansas native, Perryville, Arkansas, and people are seeing what he's doing and having tremendous success from the outside looking in. Maybe if you could treetop what has made Ole Miss so successful outside of 2 10-win seasons in 3 years.
Yeah, so they've been really organized, and everybody has been moving in the same direction from day one. And, Arkansas is an interesting kind of an interesting comparison. I've talked to people, and they're like, just kind of calling it how it is. They're like, well, if Ole Miss can do this, surely Arkansas can do it too. And I'm like, sure they can. So you got to have a fan base that's completely bought in. You've got to have an NIL organization that is well organized, well run, well put together, has got a plan, moves in the right direction. You've got to have kind of a symbiotic relationship with the athletics department. As this whole NIL athletic department world evolves, do you have an AD that's completely bought into it? Are you, in terms of the way you raise money through your foundation versus the way you raise money through your collective, are those two entities working well together? Ole Miss has had all those things, and the success that you talked about has lent itself to fans wanting to do all they're able to do to make sure that success continues. So it's Walker Jones with the Grove Collective has done a phenomenal job. Lane Kiffin has been bought in from day one, and that to me is the most interesting part of it. Lane's talked pretty openly about, okay, the system that we have in place right now is not a great system, but it is the system that's in place, and so we better take full advantage of it right now. And I think it has has given Ole Miss the ability to compete at a level that they probably couldn't have consistently in years past.
Yeah. Let's move down the road to Starkville, a program that's had a lot of transition and not a lot of stability. And new head coach and Jeff Levy, obviously everyone's hopeful that stability is here and beginning now. But how are things in Starkville?
I think there's excitement. What does year one look like? We'll have to wait and see on that. Can Mississippi State play well enough to get to a bowl game, right? I mean, I think that would be success in pretty much any way you measure it in year one. I did Mississippi State spring game on TV this year, and I think a lot of Jeff Levy. I think he's a really, really good offensive mind. The way he built his coaching staff is a little unique. Coleman Hutzler is going to be the defensive coordinator for them. He was actually on Lane Kiffin's staff in Oxford for a year, worked with Nick Saban, has never coordinated a defense before, but a really bright young mind in college football. To me, the questions for Mississippi State are almost exclusively on the defensive side of the ball. They lost, just with their two linebackers, 260-something tackles from a year ago. That's a lot of production to replace on the defensive side. They got some nice pieces in the transfer portal on the offensive side. Blake Shapen, I was impressed with him in terms of throwing the football. They got a couple of wide receivers that can go get it, and added a couple of really good high school wide receivers. What does that transition look like from high school to college? in year one. We'll see. I think they got a chance to be exciting on the offensive side. Can they stop anybody is my question.
Yep. What's the take or the perspective in the state of Mississippi as a whole about expansion? I know it's not a surprise. We've all known for a couple of years that Texas and OU were coming, but when people discuss it in the state of Mississippi, what's the conversation like?
I think it's mostly excitement. I think in a lot of places people have grown weary of the games that are not as much fun in the non-conference, and so you add, a fun road trip, a cool team coming to your place that hasn't, so there's some new there. But I think people recognize that the road has become a little bit more difficult. But that road becoming more difficult while also opening up an additional 8 spots to the college football playoff kind of counteracts a little bit. The way it's looked at in Oxford and Starkville may be a little bit different simply because of the teams that are expected to be on the field this year.
Yeah. Do you think the game in Atlanta, because of the playoff, because of no divisions, has it been marginalized a little bit?
Maybe a little. I don't think it's unimportant. Obviously, winning an SEC championship when you're talking about the most difficult league in college football is still a huge accomplishment. And most likely, the winner of the SEC championship game is going to get a first-round bye in the well, I guess we know that because it's going to be one of the top 4 spots. So if you win that game, you are one step closer to winning a national championship. To me, though, the one flaw that we've got with this new format is the fact that you don't have second-round games on campus. I feel like those top 4 seeds, more than anybody, have earned the opportunity. And
I agree.
And those on-campus college football playoff games, in my view, are going to be the most spectacular thing that we've seen in college football in a really, really long time. Those environments are going to be incredible.
So they've already contemplated the idea of shifting from 12 to 14 teams. Is that something you could see them doing? Because I like you, it's almost unfair, even earning a bye, but not getting to play at your home stadium.
Yeah.
Could you see them down the road shifting that based on where we could be headed with expansion, even though we just expanded, basically?
I'm really looking forward to visiting with Rich Clark this week, the new executive director of the College Football Playoff. Bill Hancock is one of the finest men to ever walk the earth. But he was and is the ultimate company guy. So whatever system in place that we have right now is the right system. And then when you change, this is the right system. Bill was absolutely, again, just a fantastic person. I think they want to see a couple of years like this to see what it looks like. And
see what happens.
And then, maybe you add a couple more. I don't love the buys. I don't mind it in this system, but I almost would rather see it go to 16 if you're going to expand again.
That's kind of what we had kicked around. And
I think some people believe this is going to be like the basketball tournament where the Cinderella slipper will fit. I just really don't see a lot of 9, 10, 11, 12 seeds winning a national championship anytime soon in this format.
No, I don't think so either. But I don't think that means you can't have first-round upsets either. Now, I think it would be rare that a group of 5 team wins a game on the road in a college football playoff format. If you've got, let's just say Memphis this year, they were to have to go on the road to Notre Dame in a 12-5 game. And that's just an example. I think that's a pretty big ask for a Memphis team. But we've also seen some years where the representative from the group of 5 is competitive with just about anybody they play.
All right, Richard, before we let you go, Greg Sankey, about 40 minutes from now, is there anything you want to hear him discuss, maybe talk about that he hasn't in the spring meetings and anything else this summer?
With all of the conversation around Florida State and Clemson and what's the right home for them, and this is not something that he's going to talk about. I mean, he may talk around it, but he's not going to say, hey, yeah, the SEC would like to add these 2 teams. Florida State, Clemson, that doesn't feel like the SEC is the future for them. You would get so much pushback from Florida with another team coming into the Sunshine State, from South Carolina if you got another team coming into the state of South Carolina. And I don't know that adds anything really to the SEC. If you're talking about adding a North Carolina, makes sense, right? I mean, that's a big, big brand. So I don't know. Certainly his view of the college athletics landscape is unique probably from anybody else's view because of the way that he's been involved with this from the beginning. I don't know that we learned anything earth-shattering today, though, when he takes the podium.
Probably agree with you on that. All right, Richard Cross again, Sports Talk Mississippi, SEC Network, and ESPN, talking a little Ole Miss and SEC with us live from Radio Row. Richard, we appreciate it, brother.
Always fun, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Good to hear from Richard here. In Dallas, Radio Row, sun is well up and in our eyes here this morning on Radio Row. As Ty said, we're about an hour and 40 from hearing from Greg Sankey. This hour of the Morning Rush is presented by our friend Buzz Sawyer and everything that he gets done for you over at Sawyer's to make your home look better. If you want a pergola, if you want a sunroom, if you want help with your driveway, and maybe your driveway is old and dilapidated, it's got cracked sections that have fallen in, Buzz and his team are the ones that can do that. How about patio covers that include even the great look with the motorized louvers that go on it as well? Buzz has been around for over 30 years. And if you're in the Fort Smith area, you know our friend Buzz Sawyer. He's well entrenched with a Northside Grizzly program, does their broadcast online, and so you probably know exactly who we're talking about here. They got financing available. No job's too big or small for them. They're licensed and bonded, so you can trust the team you're going to get with Sawyers. So call them, get Buzz to come your way, or stop in to see their showroom at 8605 Highway 71 South in Fort Smith, or again, go online to see everything I've talked about and everything that Buzz can do for you at Sawyers-Sunrooms.com. That's Sawyers-Sunrooms.com.
One of the things that Richard said in our conversation was the idea that, and the phrase that I've used and others have used, if Ole Miss can do it, Arkansas can do it too. He mentioned the full backing of the fan base, and Oxford, you mentioned the stability of Mississippi State, which is a good question because I'm curious when you think about the passing of Mike Leach, you think about Zach Arnett taking over and now moving on to Jeff Leppy, what that's looking like in Starkville. But there seems to be an idea of stability, and it's just also, Tommy, like the idea that maybe Lane Kiffin could be coveted by other programs. They want to do everything in their power to keep him in Oxford, Mississippi.
Well, and, you've got, much like we look at FedEx or look at Walmart, they've got FedEx, and, how much, I don't know all the particulars and how much they funnel into that program, but it takes money to make all of this work anymore. Hey, this week is the first week you can start qualifying for the football trip of a lifetime with Hardee's. We'll have our first qualifying event this Thursday from 11 to 1. It will be at the Phoenix Avenue location of Hardee's, so stop in and see Big C. He'll be out there. If you can eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds or less, you qualify. Go to hitthatline.com for more details. The football trip of a lifetime. See the Cowboys and the Eagles right here in Big D. All the details online at hitthatline.com. We are live in Dallas. It's brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Go to shoponrazorback.com, and by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. Go to lindberghteam.com. And by WT Equipment, your partner in progress. See them online at WTEquip.com.
All right, more from Radio Row coming up live in Dallas. Talking SEC with you next.
ESPN Arkansas is kicking off college football live from Radio Row in Dallas, Texas at SEC Media Days. Our shows provide insight on player and coach interviews, including special moments throughout the entire week. Make sure to tune in to the Morning Rush.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Wentz is coming. Oh, is it? Gets to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas.
He is loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. And launches in. Who makes a man miss. So now the reverse. They're thrown down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Wentz is coming. Oh, is it? Gets to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Arkansas.
And he's doubled up. He's got 101, incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open, pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. And on the reverse, they throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference.
You got to have a stud quarterback, man.
Yeah, talking about expectations and Bobby Petrino, I know that's going to be a question that Sam Pittman gets asked about on Thursday. Get a chance to talk with Taylon Green, him, Andrew Armstrong, and also Landon Jackson, who, by the way, Tommy, is a top 100 player on NCAA football. I know you're very aware of that fact.
Oh, yeah. I could have told you that.
Get a chance, hopefully, to play that at some point today. I want to come back to something we discussed earlier about teams, kind of outliers that maybe can make the SEC championship, and really how many SEC teams we expect in the college football playoff coming up.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Always the best brands and the best prices and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. Also want to tell you about our friends at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. Chris and Ben and the crew have taken such great care of me on my brand new E-Z-Go, and they'll do the same for you. Fully customized carts, whether it's for your neighborhood and you need one that has the back seat, if you will, on it, or if you're like me, you need the one where the golf clubs go in. They can customize your experience with your E-Z-Go, American-made, by the way, E-Z-Go. One of the reasons I chose E-Z-Go is the smooth ride, the great suspension. When you're out and you're running the streets of your subdivision or you're on the golf course, you can expect a smooth ride. They can do custom seats, custom wheels, custom lighting, custom sound as well, and they're always there for any service needs you have as well. The lithium batteries. That's the way to go anymore. They give you an 8-year warranty with E-Z-Go on brand new lithium batteries. They even have e-bikes. If you're looking for one of these e-bikes to enjoy on the bike trails here in Northwest Arkansas, they can do that for you as well. See them online. There's 2 locations for Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. Little Rock, also in Fayetteville on North McConnell. That's where I bought mine, and that's where you should go if you're in Northwest Arkansas. It's just off the Garland exit. Go the opposite way of where Sam's and the auto park is. You'll see McConnell turn there. They're right behind the rental store. Or you can find out more online at arpowersports.com. That's arpowersports.com for Arkansas Golf and Power Sports.
I think Missouri, kind of like as we were discussing earlier, is a team that could get some votes and that could easily, that does have a chance to be in Atlanta or in the college football playoff. I think the better question, you mentioned the SEC championship kind of being diminished by the college football playoff, which I 100% agree with. I think it's set in stone that the SEC's getting 3 teams in, right? I mean, I can't see a scenario where it's just 2, to be perfectly honest. I
think you're likely right. Set in stone's a big statement. I mean, you got to win, and this is going to be a league that beats up on itself.
Yeah.
I mean, is a 3-loss SEC team getting in? I mean, the answer to that is, well, tell me who the 3 losses are to and how much the margin of loss was.
Yeah, and you ask
where the games were played.
And you ask a good question. Like it was either Richard or Chris that brought this up earlier. Let's say you have 2 teams that are 10-2 that don't make the SEC championship, and then you got 11-1 Georgia, and then pick another 10-2 team that gets in and do the tiebreaker stuff, and then that team loses. You got to put that 10-3 team in over the other 10-2 teams in. That is going to be a fascinating conversation because I think it's going to play out that way. I don't anticipate you having 2 11-1 SEC teams in the championship this year. You're going to have Georgia, which I think will have 1 loss, and then you'll probably have a 10-2 team that will face them.
I think the tiebreaker rules may be tested a little bit this year.
Oh, yeah, no question.
And I guess the only tie-breaking that matters is second and third, and everybody else ties for second, but how the committee separates those out. I agree with some of the conversation we've already had this morning about the buys and home field, getting to play on your home field. This deal was set up when you had 5 power conferences. Now the Pac-12 is defunct. Let's be honest, the ACC seems to be in some real trouble here, particularly if Florida State and Clemson lead that league. How many power conferences do you really have anymore?
2.5 is what you said.
I would say 2.5. Big 12 is the other half. The ACC right now, I don't know. I think the structure of how the buys are given and how that's structured with home field edge, I think will quickly get revisited after maybe the second playoff run.
One of the hot takes I have this morning is I really do think the Big 12, there's lawyer stuff litigated. There's so many things behind the scenes that have to get worked out with Florida State and Clemson and the grant of rights and everything with the ACC. But I think you'll see reports this week that by a person or two with some credible backing that they'll do that because they're going to want to try and do, because, we're in Big 12 country, per se, And now it's SEC country now.
Yep.
With the addition of Texas and Oklahoma, Tommy.
Yep. So I think you're right. That story's going to continue to smolder a little bit, and we'll see if the smoke becomes real flames before we leave here in Dallas. Hey, River City Coatings is in Van Buren. I found myself this weekend needing to add a piece of metal, actually to my golf cart I was just talking about a minute ago, to provide a place where I can stick, you got your rangefinder and things that magnetically stick to it. I need to get some metal and then have it powder coated, and River City Coatings is where I'll take it, because it's not just painting. If you paint it, it's going to chip, it's going to rust, it's going to cause you a problem. If you powder coat it, becomes part of the metal and can withstand the chemicals and the abrasions and a lot more that's going to go with something that's outdoor, the weathering. For over 25 years, they've been offering a variety of colors, and that's what sets them apart when it comes to getting your project done. Nobody can get it done faster and at a better price than River City Coatings. River City Coatings, they're in Van Buren. Go to rivercitycoatings.com for details. No project too big or small. Think it might be too expensive, think it's not possible, give them a call and let them help you. That's rivercitycoatings.com.
All right, when we return to the Morning Rush, your SEC update, we're going to talk about some of the coaches and players that are up here in Dallas. We are in the...
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure, and Wentz is coming. Oh, amazing! Look to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Down the sideline, and he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one, incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. But makes a man miss. So now the reverse it. Throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure, and Wentz is coming. Oh, amazing! Look to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Down the sideline, and he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one, incomplete. Touchdown.
Flips it open. Pass launches in. But makes a man miss.
So now the reverse it. Throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure, and Wentz is coming. Oh, amazing! Look to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Down the sideline, and he's doubled up. He's got one-on-one, incomplete. Touchdown.
Flips it open. Pass launches in. But makes a man miss.
So now the reverse it. Throw him down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction.
For the end zone, pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure, and Wentz is coming. Oh, amazing! Look to the end zone. It's high. Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away. Launches downfield. Caught.
Another reversal. Thrown down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Gets to the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got 101. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. It's another reversal. Thrown down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Gets to the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got 101. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. It's another reversal. Thrown down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Gets to the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got 101. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. It's another reversal. Thrown down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is coming. Oh, up is it?
Gets to the end zone. It's high.
Ball comes out. They're going to run it into the end zone. Knocked away.
Launches downfield. Caught.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
He's loose. Down the sideline. And he's doubled up. He's got 101. Incomplete. Touchdown. Flips it open. Pass launches in. Who makes a man miss. It's another reversal. Thrown down for the loss.
They got him this time.
Call those Hogs.
Just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Launching for the end zone. Pass is caught by Armstrong. Here comes the pressure. Blitz is
An outfielder from the University of Georgia.
So 4 of the top 10 draft picks were from the SEC last night. Chuck also mentioned when he was on earlier, 3 of the first-rounders were Wake Forest kids, which is pretty insane that they had all that talent in I almost said I'm forgetting where Wake Forest campus is, just slipped my mind. But the fact that the SEC just continues to turn out 7 overall in the first-round picks, it is just remarkable when you look at football, baseball, and now even basketball with the likes of guys like Reed Shepherd, Rod Dillingham, and others, what they're able to turn out each and every draft. And that's just another, if you're Greg Sankey or any of the other coaches, just more reason and more, it's easier ways to get kids to campus for your SEC coaches in those 3 sports.
Yeah, and, the challenge, the challenge becomes just like the one for Dave Van Horn. You're holding your breath through the rest of the draft to see everyone you've spent time and working on, isn't drafted so high that they're impossible for you to actually get on campus, in 30 days or so. Winston-Salem's, by the way, where
I don't know why it's like my brother goes out there for work all the time.
But that's to me why the job of recruiting in baseball is more difficult than any other sport, just because you do all this work, then the draft, and then you got to wait from the draft, and then you got to go out and see what you can find out there that's left. And that's one thing where the portal has made the job a bit easier. At least there's some players out there you can possibly still pluck.
By the way, Mike Leach apparently is being considered for the not anomaly, but maybe the exception in the rule. The Athletic did a piece with the College Football Hall of Fame COO, possibility that he is added to the Hall, even though despite coming just under that 600 winning percentage.
Their board, their committee, should have the authority to make rare exceptions when needed, and I think he would be one that would qualify for that.
All right, that is your SEC update this morning, again live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days.
Well, where's the pool around here?
Have you seen it?
I have not. Have you?
It's unbelievable.
Is it? I packed my swimming trunks. Hey, maybe you want a pool in your own backyard. Burton Pools and Spas can help you cool down this summer. They've got their summer clearance event that's going on right now. High-quality, above-ground pools installed for just $57 a month. You can enjoy up to $1,000 off on in-stock Doughboy above-ground pools. And if you're considering an in-ground pool, they've got stunning fiberglass pools. As stunning as the pool here at the Omni, for under $48,000. So, and also don't miss out on the biggest discounts of the year on hot tubs. Save up to $7,300. Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale. They're in Fort Smith and now in Greenland as well, and online at burtonpools.com.
So outside of experiencing the pool, last year you didn't attend any of the night events, including karaoke. Are you gonna stay put this?
Karaoke is probably I'll probably get out to a couple of things. Karaoke night will not be one of them. When are y'all doing that?
Wednesday night at 9-ish.
Yeah, I have learned the last night. Then you got to do a show, and we got a big day tomorrow. I'm gonna put you on early curfew. We got Coach Pittman and the crew coming in, and then you got to get home. Because we got to be back at home that night.
Well, so I'm staying in Dallas, so I don't have to worry about that drive.
I'm not. So I've learned that you can't party hard on the night before you have to depart unless you're flying on a plane. But it's Texas Theater tonight. They're unveiling the newest SEC documentary, film, movie, whatever. It's Saturday Night Lights.
I think it's one on Brian Bosworth for Oklahoma, and the other one is a Texas Navy SEAL. I think are the two kind of documentaries that they're doing. Then you've got the event at the Cotton Bowl, and then also you've got the event at Globe.
I don't think it's at the Cotton Bowl. It's at a deal called.
It's hosted by the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, but it's not at the Cotton Bowl.
The original. It's not. I should rephrase. It's not the original Cotton Bowl that we think about. Where Texas and Oklahoma are going to be playing this fall, but it's hosted by the Cotton Bowl at AT&T Stadium.
Well, I think there's another deal that's hosted at a place called Bowl Games, which is like a local Dave and Buster's deal. But anyway, then Globe Life's going to be the other big. I'm looking forward to going over there and seeing that.
It's a cool. There's a lot of stuff in Dallas. I know a lot of people make their way here. It's an easy weekend for a lot of you listening, whether you're in Northwest Arkansas, the west side of the state, or Central Arkansas. It's just an easy trip for the most part, and I'm curious again what ends up being the center story. I know we're excited. You mentioned our conversation with Sam Pittman. Got a chance to talk with him. I think that the halftime guys are going to have on each of the players. Again, their schedule is pretty structured, but I really enjoyed. For those that got a chance to listen live, I really enjoyed our conversation with Taylon Green right after he committed from Boise State. He is a guy that, again, you understand why the term leadership has been used with him. And kind of like you heard on Chuck's rejoin about 15 minutes ago, it starts with the quarterback. And is he going to be a top 3 QB in this league? Probably not. But could he be in the top half? You hope so.
Needs to be good enough. Good enough to beat Mississippi State, good enough to maybe beat Missouri at the end of the year, good enough to compete in several other games. Question is how many, Arkansas is going to have to win at least 3 of their 4 non-conference games. Can Arkansas win 4 conference games? That's a big ask. Look at the schedule, big ask.
Mm-hmm.
Can you beat either Tennessee or LSU at home? Can you beat Texas at home? I mean, you start just looking at it. Auburn's maybe a game that you look at that's a possibility, but you start asking some of these other questions about Tennessee and LSU and Texas. These are all teams that are going to be in the conversation up near the top. If you're just objective about it, it doesn't seem very likely. So the idea of getting to 7 or 8 wins this year, yes, it's going to come back to the quarterback, but it's going to be a daunting task.
Well, I just think about your road schedule is not that difficult. Starkville in year 1 under Jeff Lebby. You got Mike Elko and Jerry World in year 1. Missouri's not going to be an easy game to close out the season. They'll probably be approaching.
It's going to be a meaningful game for them from a national perspective.
No question. They'll be approaching 9 or 10 wins if their season plays out like a lot of people think it would. And then Auburn, year 2 under Hugh Freeze. That's not
your opener in conference play.
Yeah, correct. That's not daunting. The additions of Oklahoma State doesn't do anyone favors. Probably a Big 12 representative for the championship that will be probably playing here in a couple months, not too far from now. But your home games, like you said, those are all teams in the minds of many that have a chance, and not just a chance, but a likelihood to make it to Atlanta, Georgia.
That's what makes this Oklahoma State game so important, because if you could find a way, and listen, I don't know that the other 3 are, guaranteed layups on the non-con, but they are in your home stadium. The first one certainly would seem like one. Winning at Oklahoma State gets you, within 2 SEC wins of being bowl eligible. That's why that game is so huge in so many ways, or one of the reasons why it's so huge.
Yeah, I listened. Did you hear Mike Gundy or see his tweet about his comments that he made initially about the Ollie Gordon situation? He, I tried to walk it back a little bit, but didn't really do so. I think he's just basically spun himself into a pretzel with that theme. But the best running back potentially in college football will be suiting up against you.
His fans don't care.
Week number 2, yeah.
His administration doesn't care.
Yeah, he can say and do what he wants, considering what his track record has been in.
Doesn't change his job security
in Starkville, or not Starkville, so Stillwater to this point. But yeah, I'm already like, maybe I shouldn't do this, but I mean, I've already penciled that in as a loss. The Oklahoma State game. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily, to be perfectly honest, I don't think it's fair to expect to go in there. Right? I mean, do you honestly?
No.
And
I don't know if it's fair. I mean, Arkansas is not going to be favored. I think Arkansas will be an underdog by between 10 and 14 points.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Guess.
And how you bounce back from that game is what I'm going to blame. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go in and
bounce back with a non-conference game against UAB.
Yeah. But
and then you get ready for Auburn.
For Auburn and SEC play, which you don't have.
So you got to win one of those 2. That's my hot take on a Monday, and I don't know that's not exactly blazing hot, but you got to win one of the 2 games between Oklahoma State and Auburn.
In Auburn, in Jordan-Hare Stadium or in Boone Pickens Stadium. I would argue that the game in Boone Pickens might be more difficult than what you'll face. Not that Auburn is
might be more difficult, but it might be more. It's going to be more winnable, I believe. That early. All right, coverage of SEC Media Days continues on. We'll have check-ins during halftime and Ruskin and Zach later on. Brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, owned and operated by a family of U of A alumni, the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Shop on Razorback.com to buy your Razorback gear. By the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. Get a cash offer on your home in 72 hours. Go to LindberghTeam.com. And by WT Equipment, your New Holland dealer for over 50 years. WT has earned the trust of the hardest working people in the country. Visit WTEquip.com, your partner in progress.
All right, so when we go from here, we're going to get a chance to listen to what Greg Sankey, the commissioner, has to say in about 5 minutes. And again, all this stuff is going to be on hitthatline.com and sprinkled throughout Ruskin and Zach and halftime in our shows later on as well.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale.
All right, been a good show here on a Hot Take Monday. We will talk to you guys bright and early tomorrow at 6 a.m.